First question on the right side in the front row.
Hey, Steph. This is Felicia Purcell for Sports in the Bay. And DeMar and Katie said that this was the most fun they'd had thus far playing in an all-star game. Would you agree? And secondly, what was the most memorable part of the weekend for you, and how excited are you about playing in your hometown next year?
That was a lot of questions.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, it was an amazing environment. Obviously, with the new format, having guys mix and match from the same from different conferences, same conference, whatever the case is, and I think we tried to set the tone early, of playing a little bit of defense, creating that competitive environment that was a great kind of change in tone just for the fans in the stadium and watching on TV. I think we accomplished that all the way down to the finish. So very competitive game. I think we did it the right way, showcase our talents and our skills and put on the show. So that was fun. The game itself is always the highlight for me. It's All-Star Weekend is crazy. It's chaotic schedule, so much you can do, experience and whatnot. But when you get to Sunday, that's what it's all about. And we appreciate that environment out there on the floor. And I tried my best to answer all three, and I forgot the third question.
How much are you looking forward to playing?
Oh, yeah,
Charlotte next year?
it's be great. Obviously, finally getting the game there, first time in a while. So it'll be kind of crazy for the Curry family, but it'll be a really cool experience to go home and enjoy bringing the NBA and celebrating the game of basketball and what the NBA is about in Charlotte.
Next row back.
Yeah, Steph, right here.
Oh yeah.
Cameron Buford, LA News Observer. How you doing?
Doing great.
Talk to me about your draft order. What went into your decision and who you picked, and then also, do you expect any to hear about KD talking about the defense late in the game in the locker room?
I tried to just put together the best team, and as the draft kind of unfolded, you start to game plan around positions, and for me, I try to get the best shooting, and that was kind of the strategy from a whole. And it was kind of cool to see all the teams just come together, or both teams come together as me and Bron were picking. So that'll be I think that part of that vibe of the format and having two guys select from your peers will be a fun show as it unfolds year after year. And yeah, KD and Bron, they double team me hard and pushed me to the sideline. Two tall giants out there trying to not let me shoot and try to make a play, and just didn't work out. So that was kind of a tough way for our team to end the game, but I think it was a great show for the fans.
Are you looking to be captain again next year?
For sure. I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed leading the team. I enjoyed taking ownership of that, and hopefully I get another opportunity to do so.
Marcus, back left.
Marcus Thompson, The Athletic, in the middle. Steph, you struggled with your shot a little bit, then you started finding it. It's been kind of up and down for you in your All-Star career. What's different about shooting for you in an All-Star game?
I don't know. I think a little bit is about just the overall pace. It's kind of a different, vibe. With your bodies and your minds telling you it's like a normal game, but when you get out there, we obviously know it's an all-star game, so it's not a 10 out of 10 on the intensity scale, but it's just a different kind of different kind of pace. And you obviously take some shots that are a little bit more, probably more aggressive along the way throughout the course of the game than you probably would in a normal game, but same confidence really, and just try this is make or miss situation. So I don't really look too much into it.
Chris in the middle.
Chris Haynes, ESPN. Steph, a lot of your other peers who are not all-stars already, been on that break for a while now. And you guys all-stars, I know you had numerous obligations over the weekend. Do you feel like you'll be able to go into the second half refreshed? And if not, will you be able to get your body fresh before the season next starts?
For sure, I think that's kind of a double-edged sword of being an all-star. It's an amazing accomplishment, amazing honor. But yeah, if you're thinking about it in the perspective of getting rest and really taking advantage of the full, slate of all-star break, it doesn't really start for us until right now. And so a little bit of it just having a mindfulness of what you need to do to get your body right, get off your feet, not run yourself to exhaustion throughout the course of All-Star Weekend, and then take advantage of these next 2 days that we have to get off the radar, get our minds right. Because that's even, I think, a big part of it, too. Not even just your body, but just get a refresh mentally to know when you get back to practice on Wednesday that's the real grind starts. And we got 20-something games before the playoffs and chase another championship. And so ready to hit the ground running when we get back.
Standing in the back left.
Steph, this is Nicasius from Clouds Media in Tanzania. So Adam Silver just announced the third NBA Africa game in South Africa. Do you have any plans at attending that?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Go ahead, Davide.
Davide Chinellato, Gazzetta Italy. Steph, the competitiveness of this game, how much it was about the new format and how much it was about you players willing to get a competitive game to fans?
I think the new format really just gave us an opportunity to hit the reset button and take ownership of the game and understand that there's a way to do it to up the level of competitiveness and the intensity a little bit, protect each other, obviously, avoid injuries and whatnot, but to put on a great show and have an actual game and not just up and back the Ole defense, just watching basically a pseudo dunk contest. So I think we accomplished that this year, and hopefully that'll set the tone for years to come, of how to do it the right way, how to appreciate the opportunity we have to play in front of, the world, basically, and celebrate what it means to be an All-Star. Because I think that's why we're all here, the top 24 guys in the league, understanding, that we all work hard, we all appreciate, what we do in our careers, and the success we have, and being an All-Star is a part of that.
Third row, middle right.
Brady Klopfer, SB Nation. Steph, practicing against KD every day and playing with him every day, what's it like to then go against him in a game and get that opportunity to try to score on him, try to defend him when it actually matters?
I mean, honestly, I still remember the days, prior to his Golden State, or with him wearing that jersey and joining us, and so we've had battles now against an All-Star game and whatnot. So it's just fun. You can talk a little trash. You can understand how much he, torments defenses throughout the league every night, and just have appreciation for his talent. And I think he felt the same way about me, Clay, and Draymond.
Up here on the front.
Steph, greetings, bienvenidos, and muchas gracias. Thanks for your leadership. And apart from the game, Steph, the NBA cares, and that platform for the community outreach is just off the chart. It continues to grow and expand and bring more of our communities. And we say East LA, that's from East LA sports scene, East LA, South LA, wherever the love of the game is, and the communities also really love the players as much as the games themselves. Your thoughts on continuing down with NBA Cares and expanding that even more for those who are really, really in need, like say here in Los Angeles, very, very badly. Pockets of our populations are suffering, but you as a leader in the NBA, you and LeBron and a number of others, Carmelo, have stood up and have said, this has to stop. We're going to put something to it. And just to give us your thoughts on that in the future.
I think basketball, we've talked about a lot, sports in general, basketball brings people together. And for us to be able to bring resources to the table and use an event like All-Star Weekend to, financially donate $500,000 between us two teams to two amazing groups that are, like you said, impacting the local community and the local youth, every single day, and they live through that. So to be able to support that is definitely important. We have our day of service where guys get to go out and touch the community in different ways. And this year they gave us more ownership of what that means, so we got to choose what we wanted to do. And I think it made it more authentic and more just impactful in that sense. And that's why we're here. It is a show. It's about, like I said, it's about the players and celebrating All-Star Weekend and the NBA and whatnot, but just the impact that we can have in the community from an awareness standpoint, from a financial standpoint, from a support standpoint. All those things go into it, and I think the NBA has done an amazing job at doing that.
Front right, third row. Go ahead.
Steph, Eric Horn with the Oklahoman. Steph, in the last 3 or 4 years as you guys have gained popularity and been in NBA Finals, talking about the Warriors specifically, how have you seen the perception of your team change, and how have you dealt with any potential backlash that you faced in that time that you guys have been playing for championships?
I mean, we were the underdog story, whatever. Our first time around chasing championship, hadn't been there in a while. We got it done. Had an amazing season the year after, almost won it again, but couldn't get the job done down the stretch. KD joins, the whole conversation around that. It's all just really a bunch of noise around, and that we try our best not to let it filter through our locker room and through our identity as a team, because we know who we are, we know what we're about, we know how we play on the court and what we need to do to be successful, and how we do it together. So you might see us kind of approaching it with a little humor, super villains and all that type of stuff, but it's really about what we do on the floor and how we carry ourselves, and just appreciating the moment we're in as a team, to have this this fourth year around trying to chase this championship and be in this stratosphere of success. I think that's what it's about. So we appreciate that.
And another question, being at the All-Star game last year with Kevin and Russell, the first year after Kevin leaves Oklahoma City, and being around those two guys this year, how did you get a sense, or what sense did you get from their interaction this year that was different from last year, and where their relationship is at?
Honestly, they're both on Team LeBron, so I didn't get to see them much. But just from stuff KD said and whatnot, I think it's bigger than just friendships, and all that stuff is bigger than basketball. And so I think everybody understands that across the board.
Last two quick ones in the back right and the center.
Yes, indeed. I'll make it quick. Good evening, Valencia King, BCTV out of Dallas. You kind of touched on your community involvement and why it's important to you a moment ago, but can you specifically talk about why you chose Brotherhood Crusade? And then also, secondly, was there anyone in your life who instilled the attitude of giving back in you?
Brotherhood Crusade, I mean, obviously there was a plethora of options that we could have, I could have decided to go with, but the people that I asked from the local LA community, Brotherhood Crusade was the one that I think people recognized the most and understood. The people that are leading, the cause, how authentic and genuine they were about what they were doing and their mission, and they spoke nothing but extremely highly of the leadership there. And so that's important to know that the money is going to actually be put to use and have an amazing impact. And so I think that was a pretty easy choice in that sense. And I've always had that kind of mentality. My dad, playing 16 years in the NBA, kept that as a priority for me, my brother, and my sister when we were growing up, that, life is bigger than basketball, and there's ways that you can, like I said, use the resources that you have access to give back, and that should be a priority. And so we were always doing things with my dad to improve the community in Charlotte, and no matter where I end up, I want to be able to do that as well.
Thank you.
Last one in the center.
Leo Lee, Lanchong Sport from China. What was the play like for the last 10 seconds? And especially when the ball's in your hand, you got double team, what's going through your mind?
Just trying to get a shot up. We ran a play to try to get an three in the corner and then maybe a three at the top of the key. Team LeBron had length and quickness all over the court, so once I got the ball from Joel and turned and looked, trying to get a clear shot at the rim, I see LeBron and KD kind of trying to double team me, and at that point you're just trying to make a play, and nothing really surfaced, and DeMar tried to get one off in the corner before the time ran out, but it's obviously just great defense by them, and they just made one more play than we did to get the win.
Thanks, Steph. This concludes the session for tonight. Thank you, everyone. Safe travels.